By the end of this masterclass, you'll know what personal brand photos you should have in your digital assets library, where to use them, and how to make them yourself so that you can keep your content fresh, current, and relevant. Building a personal brand is as much about your visual presence as it is about the message that you share. Your visual content is always going to be the first thing your audience notices about you. Before you open your mouth on a video, before they read your captions or your blog post, they've already seen your photos, your graphics, and your other branding elements. So in order to catch the eye of your ideal client, you need to be creating and sharing intentional and consistent visual elements that engages with your audience and entices them to listen or read what you have to share. My name's Abigail. I'm a personal brand content creator, coach, and founder of the Caffeinate Academy. I help female entrepreneurs explore, expand, and express themselves to get visible and make impact. So here's what you need to know. The biggest mistake I see solopreneurs make when they're trying to build their personal brand is not giving enough thought to the photos they share and not realizing the significance of those photos on how they're being perceived. The second biggest mistake is going the generic route, relying too heavily on stock images to create what they think is a desirable aesthetic for their brand. So yes, while there are some great stock image resources available that I do encourage my clients to look into, I do warn them about making that their sole source of imagery, especially when it comes to the more popular stock image libraries. The reason I warn against this is threefold. Number one, building your personal brand aesthetic around generic overused images, you're not distinguishing yourself from any other person in your industry who's doing the same thing and using the same images. You'll all begin to blend into each other and your audience will not instantly recognize a piece of content as yours based on the first piece of information they receive, which is the image you've just shared. Number two, by using generic stock images from popular stock photo libraries, you're removing the heart and soul from your personal brand. Yes, your Instagram feed may look pretty and your blog page may look impressive, but it will feel empty, it'll feel disconnected, it'll feel like it's missing something, and that something is you. And that brings us to mistake number three. I often see solopreneurs prioritizing the aesthetic over the content. If you're a purpose-driven solopreneur, you're not building a personal brand to win popularity contests and beauty pageants. You're building your personal brand so that you can make real impact in other people's lives, so that you can reach the people who need your help most, and so that you can make your mark and leave a legacy that will be felt by those you've helped long after you've gone. That's the priority, and your visuals should support that mission in its consistency, authenticity, and intention. There are 7 types of photos you need in your personal brand image library. Number 1, headshot. Number 2, business lifestyle. 3, business on the job. Number 4, personal lifestyle. Number 5, personal in the moment. 6, crops, and 7, inanimates. So let's explore each one. So number 1, the headshot. What is it? The headshot is a basic head and shoulders or head to waist photo of you looking directly into the camera. Where do you use it? You'll use it on your about page of your website, on your marketing material like brochures, and as your social media profile photos, as well as to support your bio in any publications you've contributed to or been featured in. So how do you make it? You're going to get dressed up and made up in the way you would if you were meeting a client for the very first time. Remember that first impression. You're going to need a blank wall, good natural light. You're going to want the camera at eye level, and you're most likely going to shoot it in vertical orientation. Headshot's done. The second type of photo you're going to need is a business lifestyle. That's a styled shot that you'd expect to see in a magazine article in the context of your business environment. You're looking directly into the camera, but it's as if you've been interrupted from the work that you were just busy with. Where would you use it? You'd use it dotted around your website, in blog articles you've written, as social media posts, in your marketing materials like brochures, in press releases, and in publications that you've been featured in. Get dressed up and made up in the way you would if you were meeting a client for the first time. Tidy up and style your work environment and include some tools, devices, and props that you use on a regular basis in your business. You'll need good natural light. The camera should be eye level height, and you're generally going to be shooting wider shots to include more of your environment. And you will shoot these in vertical and horizontal orientation. The third type of photo that you're going to need is business on the job. What is it? It's a real life example or depiction of you working on the job, creating your product, helping a client, or behind the scenes of what goes into the running of your business. You're not looking into the camera directly, you're focused on the task that you're busy with. You'd use these kind of photos dotted around on your website pages, in blog articles, social media posts, marketing materials like brochures, in press releases, and in publications you've been featured in. How to create this kind of image. You're going to get dressed up and made up in the way you actually do on a normal work day. Ask someone to take photos while you're working with actual clients, or set up the camera while you're working on a specific project. Don't be as particular about tidying up. Keep it real. You're going to shoot in vertical and horizontal format. The fourth kind of photo is the personal lifestyle. It's a styled photo of you in your home environment or an environment you spend a lot of time in outside of work. You're looking directly into the camera, and it can include your family and pets and elements related to your hobbies. Where would you use these? On your website pages, your about page, your marketing material like brochures, blog posts, and social media posts. How to make these images? Get dressed up and made up in the way you would if you were going to meet friends for a lunch date. Good window light indoors, or early morning or late afternoon outdoors. Get some wide shots as well as some closer shots, and make sure that you feel and look relaxed and natural. And you want to shoot some vertical as well as horizontal versions. The fifth kind of photo you need for your personal brand is personal in the moment. What is it? It's a real life example or depiction of you having a quiet moment, either on your own or with your family. You're not looking at the camera because you're lost in thought by yourself, or you're lost in conversation with others. You'd use these kinds of photos across various pages on your website, as well as blog posts and social media posts. How to make these photos? This is a more casual kind of shot, so is the least dressed up you'll be for any of your photos. Just be you, messy bun and comfy weekend clothes and all. Good window light indoors, or early morning or late afternoon light outdoors. Make sure you're relaxed and feeling natural, and shoot for the vertical as well as the horizontal. The sixth kind of photo that you need for your personal brand is crops. So these are generally tighter cropped photos or close-ups that don't include your face, or at least all of your face. They work as behind the scenes shots, or as emphasis on something that you're working on or with. You would use these kinds of photos across various pages on your website, in your blog posts, in your social media posts, as well as marketing material like brochures. How do you make them? Tidy up and style your work environment or home environment. Include some tools, devices, products, and props that you use on a regular basis. You're going to need good light, and you're going to zoom in and focus in on your hands or other parts of your body, or focus on an object with you blurred in the background. So it's more about the object, and you're going to shoot on the vertical as well as on the horizontal for these. And lastly, that brings us to the inanimate photos. These are photos of objects that relate to your business or your personal life. You don't appear in them at all, but the objects in the photos communicate something about your service or about your personality. You'd use these on your website pages, blog posts, social media posts, as well as your marketing material, just like brochures. How do you make them? You guessed it, good light. Tidy up and style your workspace. Include some tools, devices, products, and props that you use on a regular basis, or items that you have lying around the house. You would shoot flat lays from above, and you would also shoot for blurry backgrounds from in line with the objects. And you would be shooting these both vertically and horizontally. Wait, before you go, there's actually one more kind of photo that you need for your personal brand. The difference with this one, as opposed to all the others that we've done so far, which are very literal photos, the 8th kind of photo that you need for your personal brand is the more metaphorical ones. The kinds of photos that don't really have anything to do with your business per se, or anything to do with you personally, but it's more of an abstract kind of shot into which you can assign some meaning. Assigning some kind of meaning that relates to your values or the values of your business. So it's more about the energy of the photo rather than the actual thing in the photo. So for example, if you are creating a blog post or a social media post and you're speaking about the practice of reflection, reflecting on a journey, reflecting on a lesson, whatever, you could have a image to support that content that isn't directly related, but there's a golden thread. So you would have a photo of a reflection in a window or a reflection in a body of water. And so those are the metaphorical kinds of images that you can include in your image library that you can draw on when you don't have, any other kind of image that really fits the piece. And so this is about just shooting what you see whenever you are out in life in general. You always have your phone with you, so really there's no excuse not to be capturing those kinds of photos. And you might not even have a blog post in mind or a piece of content in mind, but if something catches your eye, take a photo of it. Stop, be cognizant of the fact that it drew your attention, it drew you in for some reason. Capture it, do your best, slow down, stop, and approach it from that playful creativity point of view. Allow yourself to just stop and savor the moment, and then capture it with your phone and save those photos to your metaphorical personal brand photo folder. When you start to create these photos, do keep them organized in folders that reflect the different category so they're easier to find when you need them. I suggest saving them on Google Drive or Dropbox or something similar so that they're safe and you won't lose them if your computer or hard drive crashes. And remember, you don't need to create all of these photos in one go. You can begin to build these libraries over time so that you can repurpose them and keep them topped up with fresh and current photos as you go. You can schedule shoot days for yourself whenever you have a new product or service on offer or a new campaign, or you can create them on the go as inspiration strikes. For example, if you're giving a presentation, remember to capture some behind the scenes photos on the day. Or if you're going out to lunch with friends and you've dressed up, use the opportunity to snap a few lifestyle photos before you walk out the door. Having the awareness of what photos are useful for your personal brand will remind you to capture them when the opportunities arise. And if those opportunities don't naturally arise, then you can specifically schedule in a shoot, either with a professional or on your own. If you do go the DIY approach, be gentle with yourself if the results are not what you had in mind. If you're not capturing the shot you visualize in your head, keep practicing, keep trying. And of course, if you want any feedback or advice, you can always comment below and I'll be happy to help you. I hope you enjoyed this masterclass. I really enjoyed making it for you. I didn't know it was being recorded. Did you hear that? I learned today that that's the laughing dove.